With his minivan not running so great with at least 2 flat tires, there's always the possibility that he'll jump out and try to take another car.
Yes, there's that as well. We haven't seen that we haven't seen any type of activity like that. But then again, that vehicle he's in right now continues to move. Coming to another stop, and it does almost look like that same intersection that we were at earlier. Car driving there a little bit quicker, keeping an eye on what's going on. A number of deputies, excuse me, they do like it when they are addressed correctly. Just in those vehicles right there. So still slow moving, a lot of traffic right now. And this traffic actually might be because of the law enforcement in the area, just kind of stopping, making sure people are safe, creating little bits of backups. So we definitely are in that same area. There's that tire store once again from a different angle. So he is making blocks. He is staying in this one spot. Hopefully this is the spot where he's going to stop.
Yeah, we would hope so. Again, this is a pursuit that started in the Carson area onto the 110 freeway, the 101 through Hollywood, through Exposition Park near the campus of USC. And now, for the past 20-30 minutes, he's been circling through the South Los Angeles area. He's got 2 flat tires, and that's because the sheriff's deputies did deploy the spike strip. He ran right over it. There it is on the right side of your screen. You can see he hit that spike strip, and now 2 flat tires, and that has made him drive significantly slower. So he's, Stu, I don't know if he's going in circles, but he's definitely, boy, it looks like that front driver's side wheel is just ready to come off.
Yeah, that tire is done, Sandy, and it looks like he is getting a little bit more aggressive in his driving, probably making a lot of noise down there. We clearly cannot hear that noise, but definitely some noise going on down there, I am sure. The deputy's backing off just a little bit, maybe just kind of giving him enough room where he's thinking, oh, I hope that's not a dog. Enough room there to maybe you don't see, thinking, okay, if he doesn't see us in his rearview mirror when he gets back to that one intersection, maybe he'll think, okay, I can get out and run safely. And obviously they are right there in the air and on the ground. It's the first time we've seen him go through an alley, a blind spot right there, making his way back out onto that same area. And again, just making blocks in this neighborhood, so you've just got to wonder, this has got to be an area that he knows or where he lives. And a lot of folks out there, they hear the sirens, they hear the helicopters, and definitely getting them, and a lot of people home. So it's getting them out into the streets this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot more people out on the streets this afternoon, maybe because they're seeing it on KCAL 9 and know it's in the area. Stu, I know what it's like to drive with a flat tire, and I think most people do. It's really stressful. I mean, it's making a lot of noise, as you said, but it's also hard to control. And your instinct is to just get to the side of the road as quickly as possible.
Well, this person's instinct probably not on cue this afternoon, but you're so right, Sandy. But another thing is like most people, you, if you get a flat tire, my concern would be how much damage is this going to do to my vehicle besides that tire. And the rim is going to get damaged. Maybe it's going to start banging against the side of the car, and you just don't want that. And you're right. You just pull over as soon as you can and do what you need to do. Change the tire, call AAA. There we go. The tire's finally off.
You just lost the tread.
We'll see as soon as it is possible. I'm sure Marcos is going to get us on the correct side there, and we can see if it's the front or the rear. This is the time. If it was nighttime, we might start seeing some sparks coming out of that wheel. But we're going to keep an eye on it. His speed's definitely increasing, and that tire definitely gone. So he's definitely on the rim. A lot of definitely's going on out here this afternoon. But we'll keep an eye on it, and his speeds are picking up, and that just worries me. Every time he comes to an intersection, he's not going to be able to make those stops. Going against traffic. And you can take a look there. Looks like almost like both tires are gone. So he's on the rims on both the driver's side wheels.
Boy, that's got to be incredibly loud and hard to control, Stu.
I would assume so. Basically just running on steel right there, steel against the road. So definitely noisy, definitely. And what's scary about this, Sandy, is when he hits the brakes right now, you have the passenger side still have tires on it, but the driver's side, those are just steel. and just a little bit of steel actually touching the ground. So it's going to create some maneuverability issues going back underneath the 110 freeway. Hopefully this isn't going to be one of the ones where they kind of jump out, but a lot of traffic. And I just hope he's not going to try to get that thing on back onto the freeway. There he is.
Yeah, there he is, right side of the screen.
And he is.
Oh, that's the on-ramp to the 110, Stu? Oh yeah, he's in the carpool lane. That is
definitely the on-ramp to the 110, and freeway speeds with missing tires. It's just going to be so dangerous, and hopefully nobody gets too close to this vehicle this afternoon. But definitely getting onto the freeway. I'm just looking out the window right now. It looks like we're heading southbound, and this chase is definitely continuing now on the 110 freeway southbound.
All right, so a driver in that dark-colored minivan, you see that white oxidation on the roof, and the driver's been hanging out the side. Look closely at the tires. This guy's on the rims. He's driving on metal, at least on the driver's side of the vehicle, because he went over the spike strip just a little while ago. We saw him lose the actual tires on the vehicle, but just unbelievable to look at him and see that he's keeping control of this vehicle. Stu, any idea how fast he's going now?
We just heard the airship, Air 21, Sheriff's Air 21. All the helicopters, law enforcement helicopters are great, but seems like 21 is always where the action is. At any rate, they just called it out that they are going about 45 miles an hour this afternoon. So, and southbound on the freeway from Manchester, we're probably crossing another off-ramp here just in a moment or two. That driver rolling up the window, don't know why. Maybe the helicopter noise is a little too much for him, but you got to think that those rims very, very noisy. I'm going to go a little bit wider right now just to give you an idea what the freeway looks like. Take a look at that. It has been light because of the safer at home order that we are all obeying and following, and you can see a number of the sheriff's department out there just behind that vehicle. This would be a great time to do a pit maneuver, but the sheriff's law enforcement, they do not condone that activity, so they're not going to perform that type of maneuver on the freeway. But right now you've got pretty much an open freeway just because the traffic in front of it has moved off. The traffic behind it is being slowed down by those officers, and of course just add to it, light traffic this afternoon.
Yeah, what's the likelihood, Stu, that CHP could jump back in then and do the pit maneuver?
Sandy, I really wish that it was just that type of attitude where they could just jump back in. They would have to be in position, and then there would also have to be that formal, we're handing it off to the California Highway Patrol, we're going to back these units out. So it's not that quick of a transition. So right now the Sheriff's Department, they really seem to want to stay with this. It really seemed like this was something they want. They want this guy for obviously maybe other reasons than what we've been watching, but they stayed with it the entire time, Sandy, in the air. They did drop out once it got well out of their area. California Highway Patrol had it for a while, but as soon as it got back in the Sheriff's Department, we all saw it. They got back on this thing as lickety-split.
All right, so this is a Sheriff's Department pursuit. As Stu just told you, we're on the southbound 110 freeway right now. Stu, did he exit the freeway?
Transitioned. We're going to be westbound, the 105 freeway. So we're going to be we're going to be getting up close to the Hawthorne area here shortly, and we'll call off these off ramps as he passes them. But his speeds seem to be pretty slow. And as far as freeway goes, we're going about 40-45 miles an hour. Running on two rims, as long as he doesn't hit those brakes or try to accelerate too fast, those rims might hold out for a while, even though they probably are aluminum. So they're definitely not the steel would be better. Let's just leave it at that. But that vehicle driving without tires, and you just got to wonder what all these other folks are, if they drive by and see this, they're probably like, what is going on with this guy?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of strange things on the freeway. Don't think I've ever seen anybody driving on, luckily, anybody driving on the metal of their wheels. Stu, he's put up the window, so we haven't been able to really see what he's doing. That's a good indicator of what he might be thinking. Earlier, we saw him giving out the peace sign to peoples in neighborhoods, also throwing up the middle finger to yeah, here we go.
Sandy, you got to wonder if maybe he's watching us on CBS NLA, because as soon as you said that, he rolled down that window and put up the peace sign. At any rate, we shouldn't poke any kind of fun at this stuff. This is a very serious type of situation. People could be hurt. That suspect could be hurt. We don't want to see anything like that.
All right, Stu, I have to jump in right there.
Coming out from underneath the vehicle there, possibly just remnants of those tires left on the rim.
All right, Stu Mundell overhead. We're going to continue to follow this.
The vehicle is getting closer to the ground. You wonder if perhaps when he's bouncing, he might be scraping as well. Hopefully, that vehicle will start to fail, and that driver will just say, "Okay, this is over." We haven't seen anything that indicates that yet, but just getting a little bit wider to see where the sheriff's department is, and they are behind him. They're definitely keeping an eye on him. We're coming up on the Crenshaw off-ramp. I can hear you, Carlos. Crenshaw exit on-ramp.
Okay, here.
I think it's better now. IFB is really low for some. It's all the way up.
All right, you are watching our live coverage of a Sheriff's Department pursuit. The driver of that dark-colored minivan right there driving on
CBSN Los Angeles for most of this afternoon. And now our Stu Mundell is live above it, as you see here. This car now on basically 4 rims.
Yeah.
We want to go up to Stu Mundell with the very latest for our viewers tuning in right now. Stu?
Juan, and I don't know who your co-host is this afternoon, but I can tell you that this pursuit's been going on for quite a while. Reckless driving is basically what the vehicle was wanted for originally. Possible some sort of impaired driving as well. It's been going for quite some time. If you guys are just tuning in, you missed a lot. But right now, that vehicle, we're on the 105 freeway. We are westbound. We just kind of passed Crenshaw Boulevard. Slower speeds, and you can see that car is clearly, they don't have silver wheels. They only come in black, and right now I can tell you that he lost both those wheels when deputies did an amazing job with the spike strip. Looks like we are getting over. Looks like we're going to be getting off here in just a moment or two. Maybe he's just getting closer to that side of the road there. Maybe he's just going to pull over. A lot of maybes going on. But we've been watching as this vehicle has been swerving towards other cars, mainly close calls with a lot of pedestrians out there. Multiple agencies have been following it and trying to get it to stop. Right now, it's the Sheriff's Department, even though we're on the 105 freeway, getting close to the 405. We got Marcos at the controls this afternoon, and I'm sure he's going to try to work some magic with the LAX tower. Hopefully, we'll be able to watch it, depending upon where he goes. But you can see that car, and you just got to wonder, how much longer can this go on?
Stu, this is Sharon Tay. We understand this might be a pursuit of a possible drunk driver. Is that true?
Sharon, good afternoon.
Hi.
Yeah, you know, they said impaired driving, and nowadays that could mean a multiple type of thing. So we're just going to go with impaired. But yeah, definitely some, let's just say some odd decision-making processes, besides the fact that he's just not going to stop for the law enforcement. You get a great shot there of Sheriff's Air 21 getting into the shot right now, also following along. They're actually the second helicopter from the Sheriff's Department to follow this pursuit. Earlier on, it was a different one, number 8, as it would be. They were following it for quite some time, even when no other law enforcement was behind it. This is something that we were talking about earlier on, California Highway Patrol. Now, seeing that officer behind that vehicle might indicate that they might be able to do some sort of pit maneuver, bring this thing to an end. Sheriff's Department, they're not qualified, or they are probably, the drivers are qualified, but the department does not condone pit maneuvers, so they're not going to do it. But the California Highway Patrol, they'll do it. We've seen them do it, and hopefully they're going to bring this thing to an end real quick.
Yeah, quite the scene. I've never seen anything like this. This guy's driving virtually on no tires. They're all rims. And I understand that he had been flashing peace signs. occasionally out the window.
There it is, right there, Sharon.
yeah.
I probably heard you. And he has been, and you know, this is one of the things. We always, you know, it's Los Angeles. We all watch the pursuits. We all talk about the pursuits. And it is sometimes we watch and we kind of just lose the fact that this could be very dangerous. This could end in a way that we won't be talking about in a jovial mood. That driver clearly, as they said, impaired earlier on, making like weaving across all lanes, doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And when law enforcement wasn't behind him, Juan, Sharon, he was actually like, it looked like, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, looked like he was actually trying to get the attention of law enforcement to get them behind him again, swerving towards cars, cutting people off, driving against traffic. Very bizarre attitude indeed.
So Stu, what happened earlier? You mentioned that for a while the police had backed off, and it seems like he was just driving on his own, but this pursuit picked up once again. We saw the spike strip being deployed. He was basically in one of those turn lanes where you couldn't go either one way or the other because there was a median on both sides. When did it pick up again? When did it become a pursuit again?
That was somewhere down in the South Los Angeles area. There's a portion of South Los Angeles still on it.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. And all on his own right there. Those were the types of maneuvers he was doing earlier on. You can see right there, because those wheels don't have tires, he just basically hit that center median, destroyed his vehicle, and now he's kind of doing the, well, now
looks like he's giving up, huh?
This is
He's
still
trying to get out, I
a very dangerous situation. We don't think this guy is armed. We just think he's impaired. California Highway Patrol, the first one's behind him, but the Sheriff's Department, it is basically their pursuit. You can see a number of vehicles. Where are we? I think we're at Aviation or Imperial. It definitely going to be the westbound 101 freeway. You can see the suspect in the vehicle, not hurt. His reaction right away was just kind of like, oh, well, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
But definitely not in custody.
Yeah, you mentioned that he was driving along the streets and the freeways, kind of, you know, taunting the officers behind him. So there you go. He's finally come to a full stop.
Sharon, you know, I'm a huge believer in karma, and it looked like it caught up with this guy very, very quickly. How is he going to get out? That might be the conversation that's going on right now. How am I supposed to open this door? There you go. Can't open that door. What am I supposed to do? Well, the deputies there, you know, I don't think they're going to be full of suggestions. They just want this guy out of the car. They may actually ask him to crawl across, or they might actually come over and help him through that window. At this point, though, that door definitely not opening. He seems to be complying-ish, if that's a word. Right now, those deputies, they've got their guns out. They may approach the vehicle, they may not. They just don't know. This guy, you know, he might have other tricks up his sleeve that we don't want to see. Right now, though, it's some conversation. And we're going to be out here on the 101 freeway, very close to LAX, the 105 freeway, very close to LAX, just past the 405 freeway.
Yes, Stu, I was just checking online here. Exit 2A there along the 105 freeway. That's La Cienega Boulevard and Aviation Boulevard, depending on where you're going. So that gives our viewers a little bit more perspective as to exactly where this is right now.
Aviation and La Cienega. Right, let me take a look real quick. I don't think we're going to, well, maybe he's going to climb out. Hang on, I just don't want to miss anything. I was going to see what the traffic is doing. A lot of the traffic, if it slows down enough, they'll probably start taking them off the 405. You can see some other law enforcement. That is a optical illusion. They're kind of elevated.
They're down below.
So those officers down there on the ground, so they're just kind of well below it. They can't render any aid. But these deputies and California Highway Patrol right now probably talking amongst themselves, how are we going to get this guy out? Hopefully he just climbs out the window. But clearly not in a rush to get into those cuffs.
Is that the airbag, Stu? Can you tell right behind him that went off? Or I see like a white bag or something white there.
Definitely the airbag one. There's no doubt about it. That is definitely the airbag right there. That's about as close as we could get with the camera this afternoon. But you can see him just still kind of communicating, maybe being a little defiant, maybe just you know, having that same attitude. But that door definitely not opening. So the deputies and the officers from California Highway Patrol are going to have to figure out a way to get him into custody safely. And they have to follow rules. They can't let this guy wander around through the car, maybe pick up a weapon, whatever it might be. And so right now it looks like a little bit of discussion, but law enforcement's not going to let this go on very long. They want this guy in custody as soon as possible.
Well, my guess with all that damage to that door, you just can't open it. You can't open the door.
So what's the plan? Will they slowly approach, or will they just wait for him to do something, to crawl out of the window or the back seat? What happens next?
Sharon, that's one of those things that, this is what makes law enforcement, or this part of the job, so interesting and appealing to so many people. This is a situation that they've got to solve this problem, and they have to solve it safely. There's probably some discussion going on about how they're going to do this. Hopefully this guy climbs out the window. Even if he does, they're not going to approach until they see that that suspect does not have a weapon or is in a position where he can comply. So are they going to make an approach? They might. Depends on what information they have or what they know about that suspect, maybe what his past is. Clearly the other doors on the vehicle on the other side open, or you would think they would. So, they might tell him, just climb across, go out the other way. But that puts them in a spot where they might not be able to see him as well, because the vehicle's kind of at an angle right there. So they want to have eyes on this guy all the time. And that's what they have to deal with. They've got a problem, and they've got to figure it out with a suspect that's probably not going to be that willing to help them out.
Stu, you said there was some traffic on the freeway. There can't be a lot of traffic with the coronavirus quarantine. Oh yeah, there's substantial traffic. Oh yes.
Yeah. There are a lot of people out here this afternoon, especially on the freeways. And they, if they see the stoppage, or they've been listening on, hopefully on our CBS affiliate, the radio on the AM on the 710, 1070, sorry, 1070, they'll probably hear these traffic reports, and they'll be able to get onto the 405 and take care of business. But right now, these deputies, I don't think they're worried so much about traffic. They want to get that guy into custody. Again, no indication that there's a weapon, but that doesn't mean he might not have a knife, he might not, or be able to get a hold of something. And he's been defiant this entire time. Why would you think that's going to change just because his vehicle isn't moving anymore? It's pretty much a standoff. You can see deputies covering the suspect, keeping an eye on him, and other law enforcement probably making discussions on how we're going to get this guy into custody quickly.
Yeah, well, that guy with his hands out, that's definitely a good sign. Stu, we're going to leave you above the scene here so you can bring us up to date with the very latest on the situation on the 105 freeway. Meantime, KCAL 9 News at 4 continues right now.
If we don't curtail that spread, within a few weeks, there could be over 1 million people that would be infected in LA County.
An urgent warning to keep social distancing as LA County sees a massive jump in confirmed coronavirus.